Podcast. I am your co-host John with my girlfriend Tammy here. Welcome to episode 2. So with this episode, we are going to talk about our upcoming convention. This is technically it's your second convention coming up. I've been to a handful of them the last few years. Largely stayed away, I guess because for pandemic reasons and just because I haven't really felt incentive to go because I've been going on different trips and I've been just it's been a money really issue thing. But with this show, if we get the part, because there's always that chance that we get rejected for the role. But we've thought about my previous experience. So to those who don't know, MagWest, or just CWF as a whole, is a panel at conventions that we do like 6-7 times a year, depending on where you live, where you dress up as a character and you cut a promo, like how a wrestler cuts a promo, as a fictional character or as a person that is real or that used to be alive. And I've done the show twice. In 2019, I played Dr. Robotnik. Some people compare it to like my performance of Chris Jericho. And then I did Walter White, Breaking Bad. And then, what do you call it? And then I did, now Tammy's going to be she's my first ever valet. I've talked about doing this with my buddy Omid a few times. We never really came to fruition. I've gone back and forth about what characters I want to play. I thought about doing Dr. Robotnik again. I've thought about doing Super Mario. I've thought about doing Wario. And then I remember, one of my friend Rob, he has done the character of King Arthur from the Monty Python Holy Grail movies, who was a parody of not a historical version, but Arthur of Legends. And so I thought maybe, what if I did a person that was kind of a parody of a real person? So, because I don't know, that's never really been done. I mean, it was kind of done, because I thought about, because I just recently got back from a Beatles tribute band, where people on stage, they are essentially cosplaying like the Beatles. They have a John, they have a George, Paul, Ringo. They all act the same, and and some other bands do the same thing too, where they act like the Rolling Stones or the Beach Boys, or so I thought, and there's been like a couple of like comedy bands, like they've done Monty Python tributes, and then I've also seen there's a movie called The Ruddles, and there's a band called The Ruddles, which is kind of a satirical take on the Beatles, a pastiche of what the whole Beatle mythology, the whole Beatle history, and I don't know. I thought it'd be interesting if I played John Lennon's parody, Raw and Nasty, because I'm a big Beatles fan, I'm a big John Lennon fan. I even thought of flat out playing John Lennon, and Tammy could do like Yoko or something like that. But then I thought, that might be, I don't know. I don't think that would be a very appropriate thing to do. So I had this idea of playing Raw and Nasty, or just Nasty as they call him in the film. And I just parody, tea and lunch, and I was thinking, well, who could Tammy play? Because she can't play, because in the films, Nasty's first wife was a parody of Cynthia Lennon, Cerinthia. She would just run around pregnant. I'm like, that's not very funny. And then I can't, and then Chastity is a Nazi in the movie, and they're in a shower for peace. I'm like, well. And then I thought about, well, there was that time when John Lennon had a 15-month break from Yoko and dated a woman who was, well, Tammy's older than me. I mean, she definitely, like, I don't know, she would definitely, because May Pong was a woman that John was with, and it was highly documented. That the relationship was high profile. He was always in the press. He was always around him. He was just like making sure. He didn't kill himself. But they were like in a healthy relationship. They were like a regular, normal couple. And because with John and Yoko, it was like, it almost felt like gaslighting. Like they presented themselves as this power couple. Like, she's from the art world, he's from the music world, and they're this power couple. They're in bed protesting. They're talking about like left-wing activism, right? So they're I mean, I think their love was genuine because he went back to her and they had a kid together. So obviously, I felt like there's always, I always felt like Jon never had an ulterior motive to dating somebody. He just did it, like like he obviously was very transparent about his other, he had his philandering. He was a, like most rock stars, they cheat on their girlfriends, their wives, because they're on the road a lot and they get very horny, to put it bluntly, and they like to date. So with May Pong, so there wasn't really a May Pong figure in the film. They don't really explore the Beatles' solo careers in the Ruddle film. They just kind of brush them off as a joke. Like Ringo's parody Barry Wong ends up being a hairdresser. George Harrison ends up as a female Indian stewardess, Stego Harris, and then Dirk McQuickley invents punk rock, and Ron Nasty is in a wheelchair and turns his back on the world. Which, out of the four of them, John's seemed to be Ron's, Nasty's, was probably the most accurate to John's, because once he had his second son, Sean, he largely remains in the private sector, and just lived a normal life. He didn't make any albums. He didn't play it live at places. He was living a very relatively normal life. Yoko was taking care of like the business side of things, and he was just a stay-at-home dad. But then so it makes me wonder. So what? Because no one's actually ever really done like a true parody of what Jon and May's relationship was like. So what could Ron and June's relationship be like? Because in the film, Ron Nasty's first wife, he was just ditching her, and she was running around with a pregnant kid, and we only saw the Yoko like in the shower and the art gallery. They didn't really explore that very much. So we don't really need to explore. It's just for a funny bit at a wrestling show. What would be a funny standout thing? I thought about, okay, well, May has all these scrapbook photos. She worked for as a journalist. She worked as a manager for other kind of like Paul's wife Linda. Like, she worked with other professional musicians, and so I thought maybe it would be funny. Like, what if Nasty just ends up dating this woman from a publication that people don't respect? Because obviously people don't respect Nazis. But I thought maybe it would be funny if I made a joke where I'm dating somebody who's slightly less evil than a Nazi. TMZ. TMZ are the scum of the earth. They are just in it. They don't treat celebrity like people. They're in it for the money. They are desperate. They desperately search for Britney Spears' camel toe. It is the most reprehensible source of journalism. And there's some awful ones. There like a lot of paparazzi journalism. There's some awful publications, and TMZ is probably the most vile. So let me do my Ron impression. I'm kind of testing it out. I want to know what you guys think. I want to get my audience's feedback. I'd love to hear your comments, and I just make sure that I'm gonna make sure almost nobody from the CWF panel like hear it. But I'm gonna do the rest of the show until like the last couple minutes of the show as Ron Nasty, and I'm gonna help Tammy get into her June Fang character, where she can mostly stay quiet because she could just because Tammy's like still getting used to being a podcaster, so her just being like just saying yes, no, and I don't know, like just having her be herself is kind of what I think June Fang should be. So I'm gonna do a countdown, and I'm gonna magically transform into the former Ruddle Ron Nasty. So 5, here we go. 4, 3, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Nasty of the Ruddles. I have always thought in the back of my mind, cheese and onions. There's an In-N-Out burger down the street. Maybe I'll go get some cheese and onions there. Yeah, I'm trying to go for the vegetarian lifestyle. I'll just go. You can order whatever you want at In-N-Out. You can order a burger with just the cheese and onions on it. Wouldn't that be amazing? After what you say, June, you want to go grab a bite of cheese and onions down at In-N-Out after this?
Yeah, I would.
there you have it, folks. She is a fan of the cheese and the onions. Or if I want to go vegan like Dirk, I'll just have the onions, with the pickles as well. Um, Let me know. It's June. Would you say you go on? I'm gonna go on about too often about the In-N-Out burger, but are you particularly a fan of In-N-Out?
Not really.
Well, I'm still curious anyway. So I just started going out with June not too long ago. Chastity. I found out that being a Nazi is bad, and thankfully I found someone who's it's almost the level of being a Nazi. June works for TMZ. She has a camera on she's taking me pictures right now. Don't mind, really. She's taking pictures of me everywhere. When I'm drunk, when I'm naked, when I'm jumping off buildings. Yeah, just whatever's on my mind, whatever I feel like doing at the time. She's just doing it for me. People always wonder me, why when the Ruddles gonna get back together? When are the Ruddles gonna get back together? When the piggies in the middle fly. When the piggies fly, that's when the Ruddles get back together. And for all I know, for all you know out there, people, for all you know, pigs could fly any day now. We have technology up the wazoo. That guy that Chastity worships, what's his name? Elon Musk. He could invent flying pigs on a whim. In fact, I wrote a song about Elon Musk. Did you want to hear it, June?
Yes, I would.
Oh, Elon, you got your cars with electricity and your lights on. Elon Musk, why are you a Nazi now? I don't know. It's alright. Elon Musk, grab your tusk, go in your car, but don't go too far. Elon Musk. There you go. That's your song I wrote for you. I love you, Elon Musk. Keep going with your cars, your space, and your other political avenues. I wish you the best, mate. You are the apple of my eye. Or the banana of my eye, if you remember the Russell Core logo. Anywho, what I want to tell every one of you is I want you to remember something deep inside your gut and tell yourself something. Don't forget your lunch. Lately I've been going on about intermittent fasting, it's called, I believe, where I just have all but one meal a day. And I've gone off about taking a break from all the cheese and onions and bananas that I can get my hands on. And but don't forget your lunch. Remember the Ruddle song. Don't forget your lunch. Don't forget your lunch now. Don't forget your lunch because your breakfast or dinner can wait. You better go out and get your lunch right now before it goes too late. You got to get your lunch or you'll go hungry. You'll go hungry for lunch. Yes, yes. Go buy your lunch now. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, classic Ruttles tune. But it's very much true. You should always eat your lunch. In fact, I'm going to tell you something right now, June. You know what I think?
What?
Lunch is the most important meal of the day.
You're right.
Forget breakfast. Now I can imagine some of you are going to boo me because I know a lot of you love breakfast. You wear breakfast on your sleeve. I understand. Breakfast is a good meal, but lunch is better. It's the only meal I really need, really. You could have dinner for lunch if you want to. You could have lunch for dinner. You could have dinner. Brunch. You could even have brunch for lunch. That's why lunch. And I'm going to actually do a cover from the great Randy Newman. He had been working on a Star Wars song and started working on a song for lunch. Here it goes. Lunch! Oh, lunch! Let's all eat a bunch of lunch. Are you hungry? Yes, I'm hungry. I'm hungry for some juicy big lunch. Doot, doot. Oh, Randy. That song from Toy Story. I love that song. Good bloke, that guy. But I gotta go off. I gotta go F off now. I gotta go have me lunch now. I'm having a late lunch. I had an early lunch, but now I'm having a late lunch. So if you'll excuse June, Fang, and I, excuse the Fang and I, we must be going off now. You have any final words for us, June? We're gonna have lunch now, June, Fang. All right, I'm off. 5,
Okay,
4,
bye, guys.
3, 2. Well, that was Ron Nasty, everybody. I hope and June Fang. I hope we have him again on the show sometimes, and I hope you will see them at the CWF show. In fact, I think we will have I'm going to have Ron. I'm going to interview. I'm actually going to have Tammy interview Ron at the next show, and he's just going to show up. I'm gonna be off that week, and I'm gonna give Tammy some questions to ask Ron, and he'll answer them to the best of her ability. Because I know she wants to be a really good podcaster, and I think this could be a good test for her. And but Tammy, I mean, you must be looking forward to seeing Ron in June at the Mag West, right? I mean, you might not see us, but they will be there. We will see them. They are they. We are he and she.
Yep.
Yeah, this will be fun. And she will. Yeah, I think she will have. We'll have a good time. So there those two were quite the characters, huh, Tammy? What did you think of Mr. Nasty and June Fang?
They're a funny character. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I would agree. But yeah, so I think that will do it for about this show. We weren't going to go as long as previous, but we will do this again soon. We'll do another episode, and then I think the day prior, we'll do a Saturday show, the day of Mag West, and we will interview, if he gets the part, if Nasty gets the part, we're going to conduct an interview with him, and he will have something to say to the contestants, and we look forward to it. So anyway, thanks for joining us in our GAM, and we will do this again sometime. Take care.